Yeah, I need to get some baseboard in there. That's a bit curious. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Ness River Railroad. Exciting day, as you might have seen from the clip, or one or two clips that I've put before this little spiel. I've got my Living Legend running again. I'm so happy to have it running. It's a special loco to me. My wife bought it for me when we were on holiday in Japan, 2017, 16 maybe. So yeah, a brief history about my model railroading adventures over time. So I'm 43 years old this year. My first ever model train set I ever got was the classic Lima, or Lima, whatever you want to pronounce it, set. Australian National 937 930 class or something. I'm not too up on all these. Yeah, you'll see these things around. When I was a kid, they were the starter set that seemed to be always available. So that's the train that got me into model railroading. Very well used and abused and loved that one. That ran around on the floor of the family room for many, many years. So that was, of course, an Australian model, or prototype. But then I remember in primary school going on one of my birthday trips, went up to Puffing Billy, and in the shop after doing the visit of the wonderful layout that they have up there at Puffing Billy in Gembrook, a friend of mine for my birthday bought me this. Ta-da! So this is an Athun Union Pacific SD40-2, I think, 3600. So this thing also, I got it as a kid, so it's been used and abused. You can see there's a bit of damage to handrails and stuff. Handrails at the front are missing, handrails at the back are missing. As an adult, I have actually bought a lot of spare parts to get this up and going at one stage, and I was doing that when I was still HO modeling, all right? So that was that. And then I sort of got, well, my wife is very much what you would call an Anglophile. Both her parents are English. And I started looking a lot of, we started going on holidays to the UK, and then British steam was what I started to get into. And then at one stage, and I've still got it of course, I invested in this, the old Coronation Scott. I think I particularly chose that set because on one of our trips to the UK, we went to the Railway Museum in York, and yeah, they had the big Coronation class sitting there alongside the Mallard, and it just blew me away. So I was going to be buying, or I was going to then go, all right, I'll do 00 gauge British modelling. And yeah, so then we went to Japan, and the land of, or the home of Kato, and going around on Shinkansen and all that sort of stuff. I'll add a photo into this video, or I might have already added, I'm not sure, a photo of me being very dorky, standing in the snow outside the Kato headquarters, or main building, or whatever you want to call it. And I wandered around in there for ages like a kid in a candy store. And later on that trip, I went to the Kato shop in Kyoto, and that's where I saw the Living Legend sitting with the full excursion set. And my wife was like, well, you're here, if you want it, get it. And as a souvenir, probably more than anything. So I bought that, and it just so happened that a friend of mine back home, his dad, hello Dennis, had a N-scale layout, and yeah, he's helped me and given me some tips and pointers along the way. But here I am now with this layout that I'm building in N-scale and well and truly American outline. So 844 means a lot to me. It means just as much to me as what these locos have that I've accumulated along my time. But yeah, about a little while ago, the Living Legend was giving me all sorts of dramas. It was popping off points. It was, I don't know, it was one stage it had a bit of a wobble as it was going along. So I ended up pretty much stripping it down to just the chassis, redoing all the axles and all the valve gear and everything, changing at the front bogie, doing a few little bits and bobs, checking all the wheel gauge. I actually changed over some drivers, and here we are. She's finally running again. So you've seen the videos at the start. The funny thing is, the way I'm setting up my layout, it's not really for, just running. I want to actually start. Initially I probably was leaning towards that way, but now actually with my coal mine and things like that, I actually want to do operations. So I probably won't run Living Legend that much, but it's just awesome. And I would love to one day be able to see the thing in the flesh. Who's to know? I never thought I'd see the Flying Scotsman in the flesh, and then when we were on holiday in the UK a couple of years ago, I was lucky enough, we were in the area to see Flying Scotsman go over the Ribblehead Viaduct. Like, how iconic is that? So you never know. We might get back to America one day, or the US, and I might get to see the Living Legend. That would be a big tick on the bucket list. So I'm going to stop the waffle here. And we might just do a full lap with the Living Legend, and then I'll come back and show you a few things that I had to do to be able to get to this stage. Now, she's been running like a dream for the last half an hour, but I bet you now, as soon as I go to run it, we're going to have an issue. But who's to know? Wish me luck, guys. All right, so as you can hear, she's coming up out of staging. So let's do a lap here. Alright, so I bought this as a DC model, and then Steve at Branch Line fitted the Tsunami 2 decoder for me, and it's just, yeah, it works awesome. Oh, what's happened there? Told you, as soon as I video. So there we are, going through that nook. So you can see just a little bit of extra space I created there. Alright, so it's just opened up that radius just enough, and I'm having no issues there with the coming through. Going around past the yard. I'm going to talk about this curved point as well after this video. You just watch the train go through there. Everything's running hunky-dory. Alright, so coming back on the peninsula, behind that little block there. As you can see, I've got her consisted with 8444, so I reckon that works pretty cool, 844 with 8444. I could have done it with a heritage unit as well, but I just decided to go that way with it. Through the trees. Going well over the peninsula. And we'll just watch her curve down. Oops. Curve down that way. I need to desperately put some stuff in there just in case I have any drops. I hate for something to happen. And I feel like I'm almost jinxing myself just talking about that actually. And here she comes back down onto the other side, so we'll just follow her down here. Running really, really, really well now, so I'm very happy. Let her go through there. As you can see, I've been making a mess with all my weathering powders and painting and everything. How good is it to have the girl running again? It's an amazing thing. At one stage I did buy the Athearn Big Boy when it was released, and I had no end of dramas with that model. Luckily, well not luckily, but yeah, the shop that I bought it from is very good and I got a refund. And yeah, I hope Kato do bring out a Big Boy, because that would be awesome. I know Athearn have done other releases, but sort of once bitten, twice shy, I think. It's an expensive undertaking for a loco that just ran abysmally. And here we are, back down to the staging, through the staging. And we can get up nice and close with her as she comes through here too. Awesome. Alright, so I'm just going to leave her there out of harm's way, so I'm going to ease her up. So sitting under the staging there is just a... Righto, so there's that. Alright, let me stop here guys and I'll talk you through some other stuff. Alright, so to get her running again properly, I pretty much had to relay, as I talked through the other day, from there all the way around there with my set track with the 17.5 and then 16.25 or whatever, whichever way it was around, down to here. And you can see that's the nook that I've created some extra space with, and it's able to open up the radius. We've talked about that and what I've done on the other side. But here, this curved turnout, well, was I having troubles getting her going through here properly. Just wouldn't do it, just kept on picking it, and then just derailing down into here. And I had similar problems with the curved turnout on the old layout too, with 844. So anyway, what I've ended up having to do is quite a few things. I looked at the point, and this rail coming in here to the frog wasn't aligned. So the jockey at the front would hit that, pop up, and then she'd just start plummeting off that way. Also, this bit of track wasn't lined up very well with the frog either. I'll try and get some focus there again. And also, I ended up adding some shims. So they're just made out of a bit of plastic from the turnout, so the set track packaging. I will probably go through and do something a bit different that glue will stick to. But yeah, pretty much had to make a shim all the way along what is the outer rail of that curve, just to flatten out or even add just the slightest bit of elevation to help her get through that point. And I've also got in and really got a nice clean hard edge on that part of the frog. I worked on just the top tip there as well to get that to go in right. And also you can see just that shoulder of that part of the frog too. I just carved that down a bit so that's nice and even through there. And you can see I've even just run a little spike, rail spike, and then sort of manhandled that over a bit just to get that rail to come in and meet up with the frog properly. And what else did I have to do? And also just one of my joins where this set was coming in, it was just having a bit of a dip, which I think was also unsettling going through there. So yeah, a lot of work, a lot of tweaking to get it to go through that point. But as you saw in the video, she's cruising through there. So I think that's about it for updates on trains. So there we are. I'm very happy. What can I say? Everything's a bit crappy still here in Victoria. I think our dear city of Melbourne has now been the most locked down city in the world across the whole pandemic. So, like I said, I'm fortunate that I don't live in Melbourne itself. I'm out of Melbourne now, but yeah, the state of Victoria is still pretty flat right now. So this is a happy day, so that's good. 844 up and running again. Yeah, like I said, I don't know if I will run her that much. You know, I will when I'm here on my own, just for the sake of it. So, oh, and daylight. So I pulled the decoder out of 4449, and yeah, it's unsalvageable. Someone in the comments on the last video mentioned about resetting the decoder. The problem is it cooked itself, and then as soon as I tried to even get power to the decoder, it tripped out the Digitrax system. So I went through and then like picked apart wires that had melted together and re-insulated them, and then put power to it, and the little decoder itself just started to cook. I'm like, okay, that's done. So that's also got a Tsunami 2 decoder in it, so I'm gonna probably just get another one of those. I got that one installed by Steve at Branchline as well, and it's always run absolutely perfectly. But yeah, now I've learned how to, and a bit more confident a few more years into N-Scale, I'll probably just get the same decoder that Steve put in, and then just copy the way that he wired it in, because it worked perfectly. So yeah, hopefully sometime soon I might get 4449 running around as well. So anyway, bit of a long video, sorry about that. Thanks as always for watching, guys. I'm now closing in on 800 subscribers. Still blows my little mind. So I hope you're doing well wherever you are in the world. Look after yourselves, enjoy your trains. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.